line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once more here on Pizza Race TV, the action is about to be thrilling as it is about to be chilling. It is about to be one hell of a ride here on Pizza Race TV. Welcome to Homestead Miami Speedway, and the Miami Heat is about to set in on the Pit Stall Racing Series here for the ARCA cars. It's action tracked, it's action paced here on Pizza Racing TV. Hello everyone, I am the Crusader, Crystal Trower, joining you guys once more on the call as we're getting set today for the hard racing, crazy action we're about to see here on the big hole here in Homestead, Florida. The drivers currently just getting themselves situated out and accustomed to the track layout and the speeds they carry, with a whole lot of power and momentum underneath to really work around as we're about to listen into those drivers get this all dialed in right now. The first one on the bunch, of course, is probably a driver you know well, the Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, joining me here back on the line here on a Kahn. Certainly got your hands cut out for you today here, sir. A lot of hard drivers to match and a track that you seem to know well in terms of dealing with the tire wear on. You got a copy down there, Kahn? Nope, looks like he did not have a copy, so I guess we'll just move on from that one. Not a whole lot we can do when they don't have a copy down there, guys. That's all I can tell you. Let's see if we get a copy from the 84. Do we have the Western Auto Group number 84 with us?
We do. How you doing this evening?
Yeah, doing pretty good. How about you today, my friend?
Oh, can't complain. One day closer to Friday.
One day closer to Friday, indeed. Well, Lynn McNeese, man, you got a lot of enemies and a lot of hard racers to match up today here, but the biggest enemy I would say probably is the wear and tear this track has on the bottom of the surface to what it does to just on the bottom end of your car. How do you kind of handle that, kind of situate itself out here?
Well, that's the only way I've ever had any luck with this track. Just trying to drive it with respect and with the try to save tires. Tires got to be your friend here at this track.
Tires got to be your friends on this track, and I'll ask this too, because you're kind of getting squished up into that track, into that racing surface here. How hard is it to kind of even stay one step ahead of the competition when things get really late into the game?
It's getting hard though. These guys here are pretty fast there all the way through their runs. They know how to run them, so I hadn't had the luck of being able to run as hard as they do, but I'll figure it out maybe one day.
All right, we're sure there. Well, then, thank you so much for your time down there. Best of luck as you get ready to rip it out with these guys.
I appreciate you. Y'all have a good night tonight.
You too, buddy. Adam McNeese, ladies and gentlemen. Listen in now to Mr. Viney here on the call here. Dean Viney back with us in number 78. Dean, great to see you back on the show, sir.
Hey, how we doing up there today?
Doing pretty good. Right now, currently looking pretty good on your end, too, as I know you're obviously trying not to let your butterfingers melt under the hot sun here in Miami. How are you kind of handling the heat down here?
Well, it's nice and warm, that's for sure. Track seems a little slick at the get-go, and well, you know, we're just going to try to see what we can do tonight. I think we're just going to try to lay her back and just see what happens, see what unfolds.
Is there a certain kind of groove around here you kind of want to try to aim towards, or really just kind of want to set up for yourself at least for the long haul?
Yeah, that's what we're kind of doing in practice, just trying to get a, I'm having a little trouble with that 3 and 4. At times, it seems like she wants to come out from under me at times, and just trying to find that real thin line to try to keep her steady in there. And if we can do that, just kind of wait and see how everything unfolds, and see what happens in the last 25 laps or so.
For sure there, Dean. Thanks so much for your time down there.
You bet, man. You take care.
You too. Dean Viney, ladies and gentlemen, on the line there. Listening now with a driver we've heard plenty times before, but a guy that hasn't been to Victory Lane in a little while, at least anyway, representing the Georgia 94, the native, Troy Radford, on the line. And Troy, man, it's been a little bit of a time since you have parked into Victory Lane, but a track like this kind of stood your driving style. I mean, how are you going to kind of handle that and take that into consideration?
I really just take it easy. I mean, I don't get to get out here and run on Thursdays as much as I want to, and haven't really barely run the ARCA car. So, right now just trying to kind of find where the edges are. Like, where can I push this car? Where is the, where are the limits at on this thing, and with what the tires want to do in the chassis and all that stuff.
All that stuff, indeed. Now, I'll ask this as well. I mean, there's a lot of hard rowers and a lot of hard racers here to kind of have to coincide with and deal with. For you, in your case, I mean, really, is there a set amount of drivers you kind of worry about or try to just kind of stay away from in terms of like trying to get ahead of in this case?
No, I mean, it's a bunch of good guys here. Just really try to not mess with the point leaders too much. If I can pass them, I'll pass them. Just make sure I give a little extra room, and other than that, just really trying to be respectful of the guys who are able to run weekly with this series and try to not beat the problem.
For sure there. All right, well, Troy, thank you for your time down there.
Thank you.
Troy Radford, ladies and gentlemen. The field right now getting set up for the race itself ahead on the track. Every driver right now just getting a little bit extra give around the place, just looking for some speed, looking for some momentum. It's going to be interesting to see how it all fares them down here in Old Homestead. Be right back. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic for a second. Got to do some things here, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright. Now into qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, here. Looks like we have just begun. I do apologize for the overwhelming wait there. I had to get some things taken care of on my end here and make sure we were ready to go for this one. So right now, Troy Radford, Corey Coe, Frank Hughes, Denise Gordon Larson Jr., and Dominic Hughes getting into the track first. Their first qualifying time is about to be set on the clock, as they're going to rip it around the high banks here, multi-groove lines of Homestead Miami Speedway. But there's really two lines these drivers will be trying to use more than anything: extreme bottom or the middle, and then the extreme outside line will be exactly where they want to play it out at, as Radford uses the bottom lane of the track to start his time. The Georgia driver going to get himself a 33.48. That'll set the mark. 34.42 for Dominic Hughes, the 89, about a full second off there at Radford. Larson Jr.'s first time. That'll put him at about 33.62 for his first time there. Corey Coe, 33.85 for his first. Mike McNeese going to try to go the Radford route. Not quite as low to the track, though, as McNeese probably would want to be to what Radford was. Radford's final time is going to be a 33.22. Fastest time set, the 94. McNeese's first time, 34.26. A little bit slower than I think I was kind of expecting him to be there. It looked like he had a 33 lap at least leveled out, but no. Apparently not there on his end. Corey Coe going to go 33.32 for his second fastest, and Gordon Larson Jr. 33.35 for the final lap. McNeese needs a little bit of extra giddy up here. He needs a 6 something up here. Frank Hughes puts his second time down, 33.38. That'll put it roughly in the top 10, top 5 bracket. 33.80 for the 84 to round out his time. Next up out of the back here, the number 45, Tim Williams, the iRacing 45 machine, looking to try to bring in some run into the momentum down. Eric Blount's final time, 33.46. No gain or ground on the positions there. He'll stay top 5. Tim Williams using the extreme bottom lane still, as I expected a lot of drivers to use. Chantel Pottle getting her first laps out on the track. John Garrett also putting himself out of the track. The ARCA driver in real life now in the sim going at it. Keep an eye on here Williams for his first lap here. Let's see what he gets. Trying to reel and muscle his way around. Got to set a time here. His first time up, 33.75. So still not quite Radford's level. It's not quite a lot of speed there. Not a lot of give either. Well, there is the number 66, John Garrett. Bringing that 66 machine out on the track here. Got a little different paint scheme than the usual Fort Worth screen printing we see him running around in. Nevertheless, still that never say die attitude and that always give it your heart and your soul kind of attitude he brings to the table. Final time for Williams, by the way, 33.59. No position gain for him. Garrett's first time locks in. 33.55. That'll just knock Williams off the 7th spot. Garrett using an extremely different tactic here. Extreme top side lane. You're looking to use the outside for leverage. Alright, we're looking for a little bit of giddy up down there. Looking for a little extra power. Shoots it off the corner now. Just trying to stay out that wall for one last big dash to the top. Lines it up. And now can he keep it straight? A little bit loose off 4. And it's time. Reflecting it. 33.40. That'll put him in the top 5 bracket. Chantel Bottle's final time, 33.49. Top 10 bracket for her. The Rattlesnake Robert Kahn and Ty Marasco already having a little bit of war of words with times here. 33.30 from Marasco. Kahn, 33.32. As we're on here with Blake Treywick, the number 56 driver. The old Moo 56 here. Scheme, I think, honestly, he has not forgotten about, nor has he really wanted to give up on. His first time is going to be a 33.45. bit of a different pattern here. It looks like he is struggling to get the car to kind of turn in. You can see the rear end kicking out just a little bit. Again, nothing wrong with having a loose car if he can get it to drive off, but that Dodge 56 needs extra giddy up. And he knows that he needs to start really dipping it down. They're going to go extreme bottom lane to recover some time lost in 1 and 2. Oh, way loose though, off turn 4, and that's not going to be enough time there. He's going to cost himself there. His time will not count. Got the wall off the corner, that will cost him. Rasco, 33.30 to clock his time in. Just 1/1000th of a second faster than the Rattlesnake. Blake Treywick stuck in the top 10 bracket. Now on to the scene. Last week's feature winner, the number 06 MF Racing Designs, is Derek Paulson on the track. Paulson's first time on the clock here. Not going to be a very good one there, in my opinion. You saw that rear end just slip out and it forced him down a little bit. And the old Taurus definitely not agreeing with the way that car is slicking it up. Try to rally it back around off the exits here, down the straightaway here, looking for a little bit more give. This is not going to be the best lap, 33.93. Does at least keep him out of 3/4s. Much, much better corner there through 1 and 2. Can he get it through 2? It's still shaking on him a little bit. It's a little weary to see Paulson having troubles here in qualifying. Maybe overdriving the car a little bit too much in the track, not really agreeing with his strategy. One more time off and down the stretch. His time, 33.30, and it will put him 1 spot ahead of Khan, but 1 spot behind his teammate, Ty Marasco. Paulson managing to make it stick. But nobody could knock down Troy Radford, the 94. Only driver to get it in to the 2/200ths of a second mark. 2/10, 2/200ths of a second, man. He absolutely threw everything he had to the win there and try to put it all on the line there. Still about a minute and 30 seconds left here on the qualifying bracket here. Derek Paulson, though, is taking a nice time here to really be had and really to set himself up. Now the question is, will that time be enough for him to at least not have to worry too much about what goes on in the back and stay towards the front, knowing how tough it is around this place? It's going to be extremely hard to make some good passes when those tires wear up, as we take a look at our Lightning Wrapz grading order and starting our little pop-up grid here. So right now, weather cool as can be, but it is morning sun. We'll be rising into the afternoon sun here in a little bit. Temperatures will rise up to about 70 degrees on the Fahrenheit. Weather and temperature, everything partly cloudy, little wind, that won't do too badly. But again, 1.5 in length, multi-grooves, bottom lane shifts you around a little bit. The outside gives you a lot of run and a lot of momentum, but it wears and tears and tires out more often than not. So the pressure lies on your cornering and your normal habits, setting each lap up for your best run. How will they handle it in fair? We're about to find out. Time to hit the intro and set it down to the grading order. Time for the Pit Stall Racing Series. So the field is now set to go, ladies and gentlemen. Here is your gridding order to start this race. Presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing on the pole. And the 94 will be Troy Radford on the outside. And the number 1, Ty Motorasco. Row number 2 is the 06, Derek Balls on the outside. The 88, the Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn. Row number 3 is Corey Coe on the 9, the outside. And the 00, Gordon Larson Jr. Row number 4 is Frank Hughes, the 61, the outside. And the 66 is John Garrett. Row number 5 is the 56 Blake Treywick, the outside. And the 6 is Eric Blount. Row number 6, that will be the throttle. Chantel Bottle on the 5, the outside. And the 31, Tad Poston. Row number 7 is the 45, Tim Williams, the outside, and the 84 will be Len McNeese. And row number 8 will be the United Dominic Hughes, the outside, and the big 3, Michael Pratt. Row 9 is the 13, Doug Johnson, the outside, and the 47, Ray Radford. Your final starter in the field, the number 78, Dean Viney. The field of drivers has now set their bars up, and they have set the cars ready for the race. Robert Van Ness says the snake is going to bite. Let's go, Rattlesnake. Michael Bullinger says I have throttle, Chantel Bottle. Pick your drivers, pick your names, pick your faces. It's a time to let these cars roar to life. This is the place, this is the time, and this, my friends, is the race you've been waiting here to see. Homestead Miami Speedway, ready to let these ARCA cars reel and deal them and fight it out in a big overall setting here. The excitement burrowing, the power roaring, everybody getting extremely ecstatic to see what they can do here. Some names and faces and storylines going in. Of course, Radford coming back out when he can and looking to try to score a win here if he can as well. He's out of the point system, but he definitely doesn't mind having a little go at the top spots when he can. Off of turn number 4, we're going to line him up to the green flag. Here we go. .100 laps to the distance. This is going to be a long, drawn-out fight. Drivers already pacing their way through. Looking to put the pressure on here. Oh, put the pressure on. Maybe not that way though. Frank Hughes into the wall with Ty Motorasco, and Motorasco getting clipped up right off of turn number 4. Hughes completely loose in the corner there and getting right into the 1, and Motorasco all of a sudden just completely losing out that position, and Hughes as well. A nasty collision for both drivers. Both are okay and continuing on, but unfortunately Motorasco already put into a bit of a bind here. He still is winless this season, and he's already told me he's been trying to change that for well over way too long. This is not going to help his cause any. Down that front straightaway, though, it will be Derek Paulson looking for the lead. Radford backing down early, maybe just trying to get a feel of the car. Paulson jumping his way right into the positions. Gordon Larson Jr. the DuPont number 00 right now, linking it in there with John Garrett in front of him. Cold tires will do that to you on these restarts though, man. You just saw what happened in a very intertwined position for the number 61 and the number 1 there, unfortunately, coming off that corner. Right now, it seems like everybody else trying to just get a little bit of their grip and a little bit of their work done for them. Whoa, and now even Todd Poston have a little bit of problems down there in the old 31 there. Poston just got a little bit loose off turn number 2. Turn 4 was where one of them got bit earlier. Now it's turn 2 that's biting another one. I get the feeling the longer we go here, the more it's going to be difficult to kind of hang on to the car here, let alone trying to steer into the wear and tear of this race. taking it back a little bit on the rear end there. He's trying to catch his footing, trying to catch himself back on guard. The 41 of Poston, much the same. Dominic Hughes, the 89, I believe it's only his second time out here on Pizza Race TV. Great to have another new face coming on to the show and seeing them out here again. The 89 right now have a little bit of a go with a veteran in the number 31, but not able to hold him back quite just yet. Believe relation to Frank Hughes down there, but couldn't quite fully tell you there. But nevertheless, it's great to have some faces on the track and great faces in the cars. Love to see everyone that can be able to tune in and come out to these races and watch them go out of here in such a unique environment, such a tough environment too. A lot of heavy hitters and a lot of tough racers doing what they love and doing it for some great prizes and stuff to go for as well. John Garrett right now still feeling a lot of the running pressure there. He was facing from one teammate to another teammate, Gordon Larson Jr. Now back behind his teammate Eric Blount, as Garrett right now continues to try to stay under control and relatively in his own position. And Garrett's no slouch either, man. He's as tough as they come on the real world as he is in the virtual world. He knows how to run with these cars, and he knows how to put everything together in order to make the best out of his equipment. I think the biggest problem, though, Garrett's facing has just been always, he just doesn't really have the time, obviously, to kind of do as much racing as these guys usually do and how much they perform at such a higher level. Especially the car that I would presume is a little bit different than the actual ARCA car in the real world. I don't know how close it is right now anyway to that car. I presume this car is more set like the 900 horsepower package that the iRacing has done. Which of course they said was an accident, but I'm still going to call out and say that probably wasn't a full-on accident. I still feel like there was something else to it. But hey, at the end of the day, we had an awesome car put back in, an awesome race to go with it. Blake Trawick here in the 56 kind of staying up ahead of the gaps and ahead of the positions, but he's also, I think, trying to stay away of the terrible troubles he's dealing with. Coming back around right out to the gates here. The Viagra number 6, Eric Blount here, starting to fall back a little bit in between. Back in the group as well there. The Twaddle Chantel Pottle having a little bit of company there with the 45 of Tim Williams just rolling up on her door here. Pottle, if I had to guess right now, probably a little bit more weary of getting too aggressive too quickly. I think it's been one of the biggest issues she's really struggled with this season, is that she has a tendency to go crazy and go big and go home early on. But the other drivers had the same thought process and ended up tearing her out. So I think the way things are looking right now, the way they're kind of planning it in, I think she's looking just to stay as relatively smooth as possible and hope that being as controlled and as conveniently timed as she is with this car, she may be able to start figuring things a little bit more. Right now, down on turn number 4 there, looking like a little bit of trouble for the number 66, John Garrett. Corey Coe, also a little bit of a mishap there. Couldn't quite catch that as we were coming off the corner there, watching everything happen behind us. See if we can get a view of the instant replay there and see what we can get off that there. I'm not quite sure. Maybe Garrett got into the wall there or what happened. But here's your Fort Worth Screen Printing instant replay. Oh, yeah, right there. Slight hiccup. Oh, nicely done by Treywick and Co. Good observation and good driving there. Able to steer clear of the issues and steer clear of the problems. That is the mind of a driver right there. A good driver to be had. Great drivers are the ones that can continue to do that and hang on for the longest haul for everything they got down there. But it's so easy to make that one little mistake. Chris Medford says, is that Troy Radford? Well, your eyes do not deceive you, my friend. It be him indeed. Good to hear from you again, Medford. We haven't heard from the old MFer in a while here, so it's good to see him once back in a while when he comes out. And yes, that's still your nickname with me, buddy. Radford right now playing a very interesting strategy game with Derek Paulson here. Both drivers saving a little bit of the fuel up here, looking to see maybe if they can get the car to kind of stinge in and be more cautiously optimistic on how they handle each part of the turns and each part of the track. Derek Paulson well aware of that too right now, as he's currently trying to do the same strategy Radford is. That's why Radford's caught up to him so quickly here. Paulson didn't quite save up enough fuel there for that. He'll park it out at pit road, and the first pit stop's made. Treywick, Co. Gordon Larson Jr., John Garrett, Chantal Bottle, all of them going in. Radford stays out. Tim Williams, Eric Blount, Dominic Hughes will do the same. So Radford regaining the race lead there. Derek Paulson having to surrender for just a brief minute here. Take a look at his crack here right now, see what he's up to. It looks like he is getting a lot of fuel inside that car. Blake Treywick hurrying out, Gordon Larson Jr., Corey Coe, John Garrett, Chantal Pottle, and Todd Poston all trying to hurry out of there. Radford, Williams, Hughes, and McNeese now into pit road, so Paulson it'll look try to battle back quickly though, but he's going to have company coming up on his doorstep here. Flash and go graphics, number 56, the move. Blake Treywick here, looking to get this car into a whole lot of power and a whole lot of momentum as he's trying to carry that draft up to Paulson. Eric Blount finally surrendering into pit road here. Troy Radford just barely coming out of pit road now. Paulson having a lot of speed though. Looking to kind of outplay him here. But it's not quite going to be enough. Paulson will jump back into the spot. Now the only thing left to worry about is the number 6 of Eric Blount. And you can see where Blount is versus where Paulson's coming up to. And we have ourselves a new leader. Also regaining the lead. Radford right behind him though. Treywick right in that mix too. Close corner racing here and close cornering off the edges here. Paulson falling into the draft line. He's trying to get the car out of there. Radford trying to stick right there with him. Both guys immediately taking well aware of their shots and their aim and their targeting points. But I'd say right now Paulson may be at a bit of a disadvantage here. He's already a lap less than Radford is. And Radford was starting to see the tire and the fuel saving mechanism really work towards his favor and towards his end. And I think odds Eric Blount here too. Take it for what you will, guys, but honestly, I think Eric Blount, as long as he can make the strategy work the way he's doing, he went into pit road only on lap number 19, so he could, in theory, actually be able to find a way to squeeze in enough fuel there. Barring no cautions, no issues there. I think he might be a favorite here, honestly. We'll have to see. But right now, the race battle still seems to be going up between Paulson and Radford. Hard to tell which one of these two is going to give it up first. Slight opening there for the Georgia 94 there. Leaves them a chance and a golden opportunity. Kind of surprised here, Paulson not trying to clutch in a little bit and save the car up on the fuel mileage run. If I was him, I think it's a bit of a risky move, if you ask me. Because again, you're having to play out a very diverse little strategy and a very tough little call here. Not saying you can't win. I'm just saying what he's doing is a very bold move. Down the inside yet again here, looking for the runoff here. Radford, beautiful cornered off back through turn number 4, and he's got to jump right ahead of it. Treywick falling right in suit. Back on to the Ford Quality Care, number 88, of Robert Kahn, the old rattlesnake. Trying a little bit of a different playing field game plan here, but unfortunately that wall protection is not going to be very friendly to him. That's one thing I learned about the walls here is that they're not Kokomo Speedway with the dirt stock. They will clip you up and destroy your car up a bit here, bud. But you see that black markers around the track too. That's literally from all the wear and tear this place gets from these cars. The longer they go, the further it becomes a bit of a riot out for every driver to kind of match their gas pedal up and figure out what their strategy is. Again, I'll remind you, All American Lap here currently winning on lap 19. There's a 100-lap race, and the drivers weren't even able to get a 20-lap deal in, so they're gonna have to at least pit off about 5 times, at least 4 times today, to get the number of laps in to get this race over with, possibly 5, depending on how their fuel mileage and their cumbersome troubles work around here. But this is certainly a long run shootout and a tough little deal for those that are not too aware of it. Poston crossed over Slide Job City from the number 6, and Eric Blount, he rammers the gas pedal, he hammers the throttle, and he moves his way through the chains. Top post right now, currently just trying to get himself a little bit more runoff, a little bit more grip and care out of the corners here. Probably just hoping to get something to really stick in his way. Corey Coe, another one of those guys as well. Corey Coe, the Gulf Oil 9 right now dealing with the 5 of the throttle paddle. Six Sigma sim racing machine here, trying to represent well and trying to stay in close proximity and contact with the run that they're looking for. Gas right now just coming a lot harder to get around and having to really figure out around here. Again, you see every driver here playing different ideologies, different plans of attack. momentum based, control based, and a lot of consistency here from each end of the track and each end of the performance here. Gordon Larson Jr. right now having a little bit of a time kind of keeping the speed up a little bit. Corey Coe and Chantal Paulo running it close, running it quickly. And back behind the track and then back behind the positions here. Top 10 having a little bit of a showing here on their end of their front. But of course you can't forget the top spots already still having quite a day, if you will. Derek Paulson immediately trying to back down a few pegs here because he has to surrender the lead to Radford and Treywick. And Paulson, lo and behold, falling right back in line behind a lot here, and honestly kind of crazy to believe here. I will not even for 1 second think otherwise that there couldn't possibly be a little bit more of a grip or a little bit more of a grasp on this here. Yes, Radford right now, though, I mean, 0.7 of a second ahead of Treywick and keeping his patience up. Honestly, I think he might be one of the tougher ones to deal with here. Seems to just kind of have it all figured out at the moment, staying very controlled and disciplined here. On board here with Tim Williams right now, and again, he's in the top 5 bracket just simply by staying a little bit in that conservative nature, that conservative run there, compared to the guys like Robert Kahn and all them who have been a little bit more weary and tearing on the speeds and the pressure here. Derek Paulson, Treywick now back in pit road. Troy Radford going to try to stay out a little bit longer here. It just seems like today, if you're smooth, slow, and controlled, I think right now it may have been pretty much lingering right in position where they need to and staying out of trouble. I think the biggest issue here is going to be whether or not do you try to get ahead of those gaps and try to get ahead of those drivers so you can push up further in case something does happen. That's kind of the little backlash you're facing here. Eric Blount yet again formulating the master plan. But he went on lap 19. Can he get it out a little bit longer? Trying to hold down as the field right now traffics his way through. Gonna go into pit road possibly? No, he's gonna stay out, but Michael Pratt probably not too thrilled with him for that one. He ended up kind of getting back down a few pegs and ended up in a bit of a troublesome spot. As Tim Williams also now gets himself right in there. out right now. He is getting further along, and he is certainly trying his luck. He's now at the point of no return here with this strategy. Looks like everyone right now that was kind of playing out that little thought process and everything is seemingly kind of in a bit of an innocuous spot. All drivers right now staying in control of their own little thought process, their own little strategies. But now Gordon Larson Jr. looks like he's going to go into aggressive mode here. Extremely aggressive there on the inside with the 5 bottle backing out just to kind of stay out of that way there. Corey Cole right now ringering right back ahead there. Gordon Larson Jr. hanging back low. Trying to put the pressure on though. Cole still keeping his momentum up there. But again, man, it seemed like earlier on when he was fighting hard there for the top 5 spots, seemed like he couldn't quite get the car to stay in the motion and right where he needed to. I'm going to be interested to see if he can kind of get it more dialed in and more tucked back here later on. One thing I'm going to really be surprised though is anyone can figure out how to match the speed that Troy Radford is coming up with. Honestly, he seems like he has got a blueprint to the track. It seems like he's got everything kind of dialed in and figured out here. This is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to stay focused on maintaining that wear and tear of the car, keep the tires and the fuel run up as much as possible here, and know in his heart he's got a lot of pressure and a lot of drivers trying to back him in here and trying to take him down for a few notches. So Radford now having to work and maneuver his way right through traffic. See if maybe he can kind of handle the nerves and handle the gas pedal a little bit here. Larson Jr. now up on the top side there. Corey Cole right in ahead of him. Well, I don't mean to bear on Blake Trawick's little run of doom, but it looks like Robert the Rattlesnake Khan has finally found a way to get a Quality Care 4 credit into the spotlight here. Todd needs to start kind of dialing it up a bit here and get things a little bit more settled up. Because honestly, he's been falling way too far behind. And I know a lot of that has to do with the fact he got into the wall there quite a few times. And he does it again. Look at this. He's getting in the wall. And again, it slows him down so much. I know he's trying to drive that extreme outside line, but man, that wall protection is almost like a vacuum. Like really sucking out all the space in the air in that 88. And he's having all sorts of fits just trying to hold that line down. Just under halfway into this one, man, and right now I have been very impressed with every driver and every position we've seen going at it. It seems like no matter where I turn or where I look, I'm seeing switch swap, I'm getting a little flip flop, and I'm seeing a lot of drivers mix and match it up a little bit, trying to see who can outrun the other and who can get the better of the other two. With every driver playing their strategy to a very convenient position. Nobody seems to be giving out. No one seems to be losing out on anything other than just holding on to all that momentum. Ultimately, the question remains is, can they linger and hang on to it? Gordon Larson Jr. now dealing with Tim Williams there on his back bumper here, trying to maneuver and swerve him out of there. Williams, though, look at this. Deep dive into the inside, and here comes the 45. Williams getting a great burst of energy and a great build of speed out of the bottom run to the lanes. Drives it to the bottom, now back to the top. We're halfway done with this one. The Rattlesnake back in pit road. Treywick gonna jump it ahead. That was your battle for P2 there. Some excellent performance-making moves here from these drivers. Tim Williams right now, in my opinion, definitely looking top 5 material. And some other drivers right now just trying to get the thing to kind of stay out of their own little way or out of troubles here. Guys like Dominic Hughes there, he's seen a little wall protection earlier. And then what can you say about what happened to the 61 of Frank Hughes? Frank literally could not have picked a worse possible time to get loose. Got loose in the very first lap, right into Ty Marasco. And obviously from there, he's been just trying so hard just to get this thing relatively somewhat back under control. Slowing down the pace, you know where he's going. He's going for pit road. Blount gonna pass right up on the outside of him in the Viagra number 6. Trying to get it up and push it through all the way to the top spots here if he can. Well aware, though, there is still a lot of room to be had for that. Troy Radford, though, man, talk about blowing some doors off and taking this one in stride. And again, Blount's strategy was originally, I thought, to try to only pit in 1 spot less than everyone else. Instead of having to go in 5 times possibly, only having to go in 4 times. But Radford seems to be just, well, let me just put my right foot to the gas pedal as hard as I can. Try to burn this thing into the ground, keep it all under control, and then I'll go into pit road only when I absolutely have to, and use up all the tires and the fuel I need then. Just put everyone a lap down, that's less trouble for me. If something happens, well, that's on them, not me. That's the way I feel like he's doing this here, and honestly, I don't even know what to even say. He's just blatantly been very spot on how to hang on to that corner, that kind of run. Ultimately, though, it's still not over until it's over. So Radford going in now. Blount staying out. And he's still parking that bad boy out as much as he can. Well, Mefford earlier on said, is that Radford, Troy Radford? Yeah, indeed, it is him taking full control of this race and full control of the speeds ahead. And the way it's looking right now, again, guys, to me, it's looking like more and more we could be viewing a very long, drawn-out duel here for these guys to have to kind of figure out. And look at this, battle of the Radfords, Troy and Ray. Ray right on the top, Troy on the bottom, cleared the pace and cleared the gap. Ray didn't quite get any custom designs or decals on the old 47, but the 94 wasn't quite far behind. Derek Paulson now underneath the double low. Man, well, Paulson right now too. He really kind of fell off the wagon wheel a little bit. Now I think he's just trying to get himself back to his normal routine here. I think that troublesome edge of the corners here really turned him out a little bit, kind of turned him into a bit of a bad spot. So now he's just trying to see what he can do here. The MISL Gulf Oil number 9, Corey Coates, still trying to hold down anything he's got in the speed department. But he's got a blistering hard charger and a big old Mustang down there. I know I said I called it a Taurus earlier by accident. It's a Mustang. Derek Paulson trying to show he wasn't last week's winner for no good reason. He has been dominating this season. Tough as nails and tough to tame and tough to beat. John Garrett being back on the track here as well here in this number 66. You can see he's been doing quite a job today, staying in the top 5 bracket. He qualified 8th, but man, he's been pretty consistent in that top 5 area. Just kind of driving where he needs to and staying focused on the track. Letting the car come to him when he needs to. Eric Blount now just getting in a pit road. And again, he is only off by so much. The Viagra number 6 here, though, really needs to be aware that he is going to need to figure out something. And something quickly here if he's going to get the extra laps he needs to hang on and also still stay ahead of Radford and them when they lap him. He's getting close to being lapped every time they come around to him. Glad McNeese, man, he was hanging on for dear life too. I didn't quite miss that there. I wasn't quite able to catch it. But the 84 looser than it gets off turn 2. Steers into the car and stays off the spinning turret. Oh boy. I about gave him the old broadcaster curse there. The Western Auto Group 84 though hanging on. I think he looked like he was about ready to lose in the corner there. Manages to stay in. It's a relatively cool, calm, collective situation at least. The old rattlesnake Robert Kahn trying to get back to victory lane after a few times out of the top spot. And then of course that horrific race that he suffered there at Kansas not too long ago in a wild and climactic sequence of events, giving Derek Paulson the race win that day. But yeah, I talked to Colin earlier and he said to me flat out, I have not forgotten and I am not forgetting it. Now, I don't know if he's going to forgive or not. He's not usually one of those drivers that forgives until he gets a little even with some things. But I think really the only way for him to get even is to win a race out here. And that is easier said than done sometimes. Field right now is separating out further and further along. Michael Pratt hanging around that top 10 a little bit. Interested to see if he can keep that up here for the most part. Pratt's one of those guys, man, like you watch him go out on the track and he's got a lot of momentum to kind of use up and to fuel with. But I think maybe his biggest deal he's always struggled with has always been, can he get the car to work with this strategy as much as he's trying to make everything else work with it. He's got a very low tone kind of style and a very tough little drive extension here. But he's never been one to give up so easily. He's not one to exactly give out in certain areas. Little slap on the wall there of Gordon Lawrence Jr. Open the door up here for Michael Pratt as you see him gain some ground up. Looks like a little slight mishap off the turn there. Pratt trying to stick with it here. Gordon Larson Jr. right on the cusp and on the nose here to take some speed up. Gone in pit road now. His next pit stop. Radford's still your leader. Deep dive down into the inside. Big run coming out. And Pratt finally making the pass around Larson Jr. there. A good drop off to the turn into the corner. Opened the door up nicely for him to make his mark. Blake Trawick still good 5 seconds back of Troy Radford here. It's Radford, man. I don't know what the heck he will do or how far he'll go. But he knows one thing is for certain. He will push this thing to its limits. And if it means taking it to victory lane, he will do just that. Frank Hughes, Todd Poston, little go out of here. The Hughes garage. 61. He needs to get something figured out quickly here. He lost so much momentum earlier, and now he's just kind of fighting for everything he's got, gripping and grappling and taking everything that he can. Got to drive it down the house and hope for the best here, and that's exactly what he's up to. Pit stops now. Hughes, Pratt, entering in. Eric Blount has now been a lap down. And honestly, I don't know. I don't think his strategy is looking too good right now. I said earlier I liked what he was doing. I liked what he was coming up with. But, you know, guys, I have to change my mind on a whim sometimes. Like, you know, I just don't see it now working right. I thought, honestly, that they maybe burn up a little bit too much speed driving as hard as they do, but it does not seem to be the same situation here. And now Trawick in the pit road here, so field is now kind of just getting a little bit more dropped down. We're only down to the final 28 laps to go. Those that have been able to put a lap down entirely so far include everyone to 5th on down, 6th on down. Pottle will be trying to gain some ground back up here as she goes to pit road. Blount and Paulson trying to get a pulse back underneath them and trying to get some feeling back inside their cars. Blount's gonna stick to that strategy to the end, though. I don't discredit him for trying it. I just don't know if it will work. Yeah, man, Blount, he's sticking to it. He's gonna try it. Trawick is knocking the race lead away. But he's only about 5.5 seconds ahead of Radford here. Trawick, though, seems to might have found something, though. And he's actually keeping his speed up, too. So, I don't know. He might actually have a little something for him here. I don't know. Devine getting out of the way there as we get back on the track. Ty Marasco trying to hunt down that 89 there, Dominic Hughes. So Dominic going into pit road here. Patrick Foss says go Pratt in the comment section. Throwing on down there for Michael Pratt in the number 3. Pratt done a pretty good job here so far, just kind of keeping his pace up, keeping himself under control. 25 laps remain. Braywick losing his ground down to about 2.5 seconds ahead of Radford. This is what really just kind of kills me inside, is the suspense and the feeling you get, because it's like you're just anticipating the unexpected. You're anticipating something crazy to happen, and either that could happen or it could be somebody finally figured out the winning strategy, the winning formula. But this is what's so nerve-wracking. As a driver, you're inside that cockpit. You're not thinking about what the fans are thinking or what an announcer's thinking. You're literally deep down in your head and trying to keep everything attached with your hands to that wheel. From the pedals below to the grips above. You are literally thinking every little minute detail, every little spot you can possibly even imagine on, and you're just trying to make sure that you have honed that craft in just enough to where it works out perfectly and where everything is set where it needs to be. Those that are brave enough and smart enough to get it dialed in, those are the ones. I seem to relish in victory and relish in the glory all the time, more than often. Safe to say, though, race fans, this has indeed strung out to be a fuel long-run strategy. From the hard racing that follows to the high apex moments that come with it, everybody has had a little piece of that pie today. And they're still making some incredible little moves off, just passing each passing by driver as they go around. And again, these cars aren't going at a measly like 120 miles per hour. Now, these things are hitting well over 180 miles per hour top speed. Some staying in about the 175s, 177s just to make sure they can hang on long enough. Tim Williams, yet again, I've said it already, I'll say it again. I think, honestly, the way his driving has been today, it's been controlled, it's been conservative, it's been connected. I think he probably, of all the drivers here, probably has top 5 written all over him. if he could just continue on what he's doing and stay focused on that. Troy Radford has got around Blake Trawick now, so Radford finally getting the lead back away. So much battling going on, we completely forgot all about the leaders there. If you are wondering what is to come the rest of this week here, depending on how things go Saturday night, we may be broadcasting that, or we may be doing it Sunday afternoon. We do have a Sunday night edition of Battle of Motor Racing League coming your way. Also, Monday, we have a very, very special race series coming. A brand new series, Maple Ridge Racing Series, brings the late model divisions back to PTM Racing TV. So we're going to have more racing with some hard late model action in a league we do not know anything about right now. So we're very curious to see it. Randy Bledsoe says, I miss racing with these guys. Randy, we miss having you on the show here, sir. But it's great to have you back on the comment section. 17 laps left to go. And the 94 still keeping his momentum up. The Hughes boys, Dominic and Frank, right on top and bottom. Frank not trying to lose his spot here in terms of his lap position, but he doesn't want to get into the 94, and he knows that they've got the blue flag right now, blue and yellow flag waving right at Hughes. Hughes knows to back off. Bradford allowing to be covered through. Ty Marasco here looking to try now to gain some ground there on Frank Hughes as well. Give credit where credit's due to Marasco. He never quit, he never gave out ever since that little hiccup between him and Hughes. He stayed in the gas pedal and tried to stay in control of his own destiny. I'll give him the credit where credit's due and the respect for that. But unfortunately, I think all else, it just did not play out the way he was hoping for or what he wanted to do here today. 16 laps left to go. These drivers are going to have to probably make one last pit stop. The question though is, when and where do you choose it? We talk about that long run and how difficult it has been to master, but this is now where I'm going to put you guys into this little pickle. Trawick has gone into pit road now. He's trying to get the pit stop set to when Radford has to go in. He'll be right on the cusp and on the track for that kind of speed, that kind of momentum. If I'm Troy Radford right now, maybe look at getting into pit road quickly here rather than later, so you're not having to waste time just to catch back up to him. But that doesn't seem to be his game plan here. It seems like he's going to wait it out. Trawick's still in pit road. Oh, all four tires going on that 56, so now he's really trying to play it out. Radford did take all four tires, so maybe he's just looking to just get fuel. He's going to put a lot of drivers, though, in a very tough little spot. Michael Pratt going into pit road now. Radford's on fuel-saving mode, and now to pit road mode. He's got to brake well, set the corner, does set the corner up well, and he'll be able to take control. Tim Williams is going to take the second spot over. He's currently still a lap down to Radford here. Radford right now into pit road, trying to get the car settled up. No tires, just gas. He's pulling a Lightning McQueen out here. Tim Williams now to pit road. If I'm Williams, just get the fuel and get out of there, my friend. Ooh, don't take down the water barrels there. You don't want to do those water barrels, I'll tell you that much. I've hit them before and they don't feel very good. Con, there's one mid-enemy that's definitely been in Con's way today. That's that wall protection. Ty Marasco actually moving into the second spot. He's on lap 72 tires here and fuel. It's not going to be enough to get him through the rest of this race. There's no way and no chance. He knows it too. Con, though, passed up by Trawick, so it looks like now Con's run may be coming deeper and deeper to an end here. Trawick desperately trying to catch up. to Radford, but right now, honestly, it doesn't look good. Radford is currently still putting distance behind him, even on fresh sets. Craywick cannot get to Radford. We're down to the final 10 laps next time on by. Oh, whoa, 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 boy. Hold on just a minute. Michael Pratt and Eric Blount almost having a meeting in the mines down there. Something going majorly wrong with that 3 car. We'll take a look at the replay and see what the heck happened here. Might have got a little bit tight. Coming off turn 2. Yeah, he did. Blount trying to steer around him. Look at Pratt. Oh boy. Oh my. Dangerous situation. Again, Pratt wasn't trying to right hook, and what happened was he got stuck on the wall protection, and he tried to steer clear out of it, but I think he was waiting for Blount to get out of that way before he did that, and didn't realize where he was at the time of position. I mean, at this point, they can do whatever they want, drive up the way they'd like to, but guys, again, I'm telling you, there's nothing these guys have been able to do to really hold back and stay in that position. They are struggling right now. Gaps starting to form and positions now starting to become more and more relegated and relegated to just who can hang in there and who can stay in control of this race. 8 laps left, and I think Radford found the winning strategy just simply by outracing everybody. It wasn't he had saved fuel. It wasn't he had tried to find another line, find another way. All he did was just go out there, put that loud pedal down, put the pedal to the metal, and gas that bad boy up and send it on its way. Letting it hang out there and letting it ride and dip and dive and skive away. Every driver looking ever so more considerate and conservative, but there's just nothing they can do wholeheartedly about what this happened today. This has just been absolutely crazy to believe. Some drivers even wondering what could have been for Frank Hughes, what could have been for Ty Marasco. Had that situation not happened off turn number 4 there at the very beginning of this race, could we have seen a different race? Could it have been a bit of a change up here? Would their strategies have been a little bit different? Ultimately, we just cannot say because we will never know. Paulson right now staying a good chunk ahead of Kahn, about a second and a 3/10 now, 3/4 here, excuse me. Looks like I put it about 2 seconds here coming into turn 2. Side timer Aska just jumping right ahead of him there. He is a lap down. Top 5 on your screen here for the final 5 laps. 5-5 was the air last time on by. Radford now looking for the big 4. 4 more to go. Tim Williams at 485, iRacing.com machine, putting up everything he had to the table today. He was definitely, in my opinion, a top 5 driver for this power and run. Unfortunately, his top 5 was nullified by the unfortunate nature that was this pit strategy and pit calls. But credit where credit's due. He had speed, he used it, and he stayed consistent. And honestly, if I'm him right now, I wouldn't be too mad about this one. But he'll have one last little duel here. Ty Morosco and him going at it for the 11th spot. Credit where credit's due again to Morosco. Got crashed out, fell back early, drove his way back up. I think in due time he'll eventually get it figured out and get himself a race win back on the show. I know he's been hungry for it. The biggest thing I can only tell him is he's just going to have to be patient and make sure if he does get aggressive, he knows when and where it is time to get aggressive and when it's time to back off from things or two. That's my only advice I can really give him. Here we go. White flag lap out on the air. Radford, your race leader. One lap car to boot. Treywick right now, probably at this point was just hoping and praying one of the lap traffics can slow him up a lot more than that. It wasn't to be. Through 3 to 4 to Georgia, 94. Troy Radford is going to revisit victory lane. He hasn't been there in a while. He's going back today. He wins at Homestead. From point A to point B. I think he'll be celebrating this one for a while. He said earlier, I didn't want to get in the way of the leaders or the points. But if I got that chance, and I got some room, I'm going to use it. Not only does he use it, but he uses it well. Race results presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing here. Troy Radford going to be your winner today. Blake Trevor going to go second. Derek Paulson third. Robert Kahn fourth. Eric Blount fifth. Michael Pratt sixth. Corey Coe seventh. Eighth. To Gordon Larson Jr. ninth. To John Garrett. Frank Hughes, your top 10 in this one. Final results here on your screen there as well. The rest of your finishers as well on the screen. What a race fans. Only one thing left to do here. It is time to listen in to our top 3 drivers as always. I'm very interested to hear what these guys got to say here. This should be a little interesting to know, kind of figure out here with them. So let's start off with the guy here in the number 06, Derek Paulson, last week's feature winner. But nevertheless, Derek, you put up an impressive fight and a good little battle off there for you and the team, but coming away third, how does it feel to kind of get our podium off the board?
Lucky, wasn't supposed to be here. Was set for provisional, got here at the last minute. Didn't get any practice in. Couldn't see out of my VR for the first 20 laps because of the fog. Probably ran the wrong steering ratio. You name it. Pretty happy to come third. Never thought I would. Showing up at the last minute. Very fortunate, very lucky. Didn't do the right strategy either tonight. We 3 stinted tires, and that didn't seem to be the correct strategy in the way Troy whooped us all. But I'm pretty happy with the third. I'll take it any day of the week.
Pretty happy with third, staying up in control and making sure you stay out of problems here. I know there was a little bit of a little hard racing gap between you, Treywick, as well as Radford out of the gate here. I mean, was that kind of something that told yourself, like, maybe I should kind of hang in there and run my gap in as much as possible?
I probably ran it a little too hard right away. the first run I probably drove it a little too much because then I burned it off and they pulled away from me a little bit. Like I said, combination of not being on the track and whatnot backfired there. But yeah, it was good. Those guys up front are fast. Troy, when he shows up, he's either first or second. So it's nice to see get him in here when we can. And it was just that's pretty good. 100 laps, not one caution. So gotta thank all the guys who showed up tonight.
Anybody else you want to thank here, Derek?
I gotta thank you there up in the booth. I gotta thank Tim and all the admins. Excuse me. Here at the pit stall. I gotta thank MF Racing Designs who designs my paint. I gotta thank MFRD and Ty Morosco here tonight for racing again. He had some bad luck on the first lap and pretty much put him behind the 8 ball the whole race. So feel bad for him for that. But either at all, it was nice for him to be in the radio. And just thank the guys who showed up tonight. Again, good race. 100 laps, no cautions. That's pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. Derek, congratulations, man, bringing another podium home today.
Yeah, thank you.
Derek Paulson, ladies and gentlemen, going to bring home another podium for him and his team today. Blake Trawick going to go home into the second spot here. I do not have him on the line just yet. We'll see if he pops up here in the call list center here. Of course, we do have a time limit for these guys. They can't just have us waiting all day. But the one driver that is not going to be able to wait too much longer, he's ready to chat with us, ladies and gentlemen. Troy Radford, your winner today. And Radford, I think I literally said at the beginning of the show, you haven't been to Victory Lane in a while. What was it going to take? I think we just figured out what it does take to get to Victory Lane, sir.
Homestead's about it. So Homestead's always been a good one for me. And, again, me and Blake were really close. We just a little bit different. He took that aggressive 3-stint strategy on that first set of tires, and I had opted against that just because I thought it was going to be too hard on the tires in that third stint. And that was kind of about what it was, because we were pretty dead even. Like, we just yo-yo back and forth for pretty much once we started on the 2-tire stints. We were pretty much the same. But it was that third stint that he did on those tires on the first run that seemed to really make that difference.
See, to make that difference indeed. Obviously, Radford, I know there's a lot of drivers that are trying to play on an extremely, extremely long run on the fuel and trying to only have to do so many pit stops. But it seemed like your goal was get this car dialed in for the speed and get it dialed in for the long haul with the tires and the set you had. And it seemed like that was the winning formula. How did you come up with that kind of game plan, much less be able to figure it all out this late into the race?
We had kind of made a couple of buddies that kind of talked a little bit of strategy there. And, one of them, Eric, he went the 4 pit stop strategy as opposed to the 5. And so he went with the 4. But we were close. Like, my first stint, I was saving a good bit of fuel. And I'm like, yeah, I could save a lap and a half, but I felt like I was going to slow too much up to save that extra lap that I needed to do what he was doing. So I decided just to, screw it. Let's kind of push a little harder than that and really try to make up the ground that way, as opposed to, trying to save a bunch of fuel. So I did save a little bit, but just to make sure that I didn't get caught on, a weird cycle or something like that. But really just driving hard, driving smart, trying to take care of that right front, and trying to not get in any, as we were passing cars and lapping them and stuff like that, just trying to make sure we were putting ourselves in good situations.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, as you come away today with the race win, I will ask you, as always, who do you want to thank you for this one?
First one, I'll give a big shout out to my daughter, who is supposed to be in bed currently, but she noticed I was running a race about halfway through, so she sat here for the last 40 or 50 laps watching the race from behind my rig. So big shout out to Charlotte. Thank you for being my good luck charm tonight. And of course, all of the hang on. She wants to say something. Hang on.
Go ahead, let her on.
You told me that I could stay up.
Apparently she's calling me out for saying that I could tell her to stay up. So anyway, just a big shout out to all of the guys on the league. Just a great league that Tim runs, and all the admins and everything like that. And of course, always got to give a big thank you to the sponsors. that we've got. Of course, Lucky Finn Project, National Kidney Foundation, Evidence Based Mommy, and all the guys over at Charity Motorsports. I don't have any other teammates that run in this league, but I got some good guys here that help me out with like Eric and Gordon, try to catch me up to speed on this car sometimes.
Well, Radford, I think you've done right tonight, but I think your daughter probably thinks you kind of owe her one for this one tonight. So congratulations to you both, and have a good one out there. This was a big one for you today.
Yep, thank you, bud.
Troy Radford, ladies and gentlemen, gonna bring it home to victory lane. A few smiles on my face for that one. As an uncle, I know how exactly it is with seeing one of my youngsters coming out and talk to me. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's about do it for your coverage today. Before we do go, I just want to give a quick reminder and shout out to our friends at Forward Screen Printing, and of course, our friends at Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to visit them up as always here, and be sure to give them some love and support there. Also, visit up John T. Garrett Twitch channel there for more information. Be sure to see all their action, all our coverage. There's plenty more to see. We are back next week, but for now, we are going to be getting some more time around the track, race fans. So until then, thank you so much for tuning in. You know the drill. Be safe. God bless. Take care of yourselves out there. I'll see you next time.